You haven't
before you go on TV.
Exactly.
Alright, team, we are ready when you are.
Okay.
All cameras are rolling. Dan, how's that other camera?
This one's not on.
Okay, so it's so cool to see you. I haven't seen you for ages. I'm just dying to find out about what's been happening. So, how awesome is Man United?
Yeah, so I know you're joking. If you weren't joking, the interview would be over. Do I like Man United? No, I don't like Man United at all.
Why
Liverpool
not?
supporter, obviously.
Okay, cool. So, your favorite player maybe Sergio Ramos?
No, so I mean, you obviously prepped into me to talk to me about Sergio Ramos and Man United. No, Sergio Ramos beat Liverpool in the Champions League final last year, so no, it's not. And my favourite player at the moment, I think Steven Gerrard was my last favourite player. But he doesn't play anymore at the moment. It's the whole Liverpool team. I think this is our year.
So, how did you get into fashion if you're such a sports fundy?
I was actually sitting watching Bafana play Cameroon in the first game back into international soccer for South Africa, sitting next to a friend of mine who knew Michael, and I told him that I hated my job and I was looking for a job, and he said he might know someone that's looking for a young guy to sell clothing for him. So I went for an interview and got the job. It was 23 years ago.
That's amazing. So, what's your favorite pastime?
My favourite pastime would be spending time with my family, any time with the family, and then watching Liverpool. That would have to be an answer, wouldn't it?
What is it like being the only man in the house?
If you had met me 10 years ago, you would never have thought 10 years later I'd be living in a house with 3 girls. So I've got 2 male ginger cats, so it helps a little bit. But yeah, they keep me on my toes, eh?
So, what's your favorite pastime?
My favourite pastime? Did you ask me that already? I think you did.
I'm going to take that off because I realised I duplicated. Sorry. If we booked you a
My favourite
yoga...
pastime is making corporate videos.
Say that again.
My favourite pastime is making corporate videos. Natural.
If we booked a yoga class for you, how long would you last?
I wouldn't even pitch up to the yoga class.
Why not?
I don't see, it doesn't interest me one bit, and I don't have yoga pants.
So
We sell lots of yoga pants, and we probably sell the cheapest yoga pants in the market, but I don't own a pair of yoga pants. I think Michael and Dave do.
So, tell us one thing about the Jam fan. Sorry, tell us one thing that the Jam fan probably wouldn't know about you.
One thing that the Jam fan wouldn't know about me, that I really don't want to do this video. That will probably be, but I think they actually do know that by now. They didn't know it when they got to work this morning though.
So secretively you want to be a TV presenter.
I think I could be a good TV presenter, yes. I'm probably better a radio presenter, but
Okay, so the magic happens when, starting with that statement, the magic happens when?
the magic happened when Dave, Mike and I get to work every day. The 3 of us complement each other. No 2 days are the same at Jam. I think we sell about 900,000 garments a month, of which means Michael and I are responsible for buying 900 garments a month. Every order is a different garment, so no 2 days are the same. And yeah, there's just a good vibe at head office, and that's the magic.
That's amazing. So what has been your favourite moment at Jam?
I would say just being a part of Jam, to take it from one store to where we are now. Every store we open, I mean, I just really feel proud to start something from nothing to get it where it is. So I don't have a favourite moment, but the whole journey, the whole experience has been quite unbelievable. And it's still, we're just getting going. I mean, we're still going.
Excellent, you're a natural. Okay, so what did you study? Just saying I studied as part of the answer.
I studied the last time instead of 8, I think. I wouldn't pass this on to everyone that you don't need to study. I think maybe my generation was the last generation in South Africa that could maybe get a job without having a degree. I mean, there's no ways my 2 girls wouldn't go to varsity now. So no, I started studying twice. Once at Tech, I left within 30 days, so my dad got his money back, and once in America on a sports scholarship. but I didn't see after 4 years.
So you could have been a professional soccer player.
I did play professional soccer, but obviously wasn't good enough to continue.
So you guys got Dr. Kamala instead?
Yeah, we did. He's a little bit better than me.
Okay, so what's been your greatest achievement at JAM? Just starting with my greatest achievement has been?
My greatest achievement at JAM, as I said earlier, would be to take from 0 stores to sitting on 100 stores now, and we should in the near future be at 150. The 800 or so permanent staff that we employ, along with the 500 or so casuals, I think to be able to put food on the table for all these people and their families. I'm sure that there's a lot more than just their immediate family as dependents. They've got the greater family. I think we might have to do this one again.
Just carry on saying what you're saying.
And I think to employ so many people and to be responsible for so many people being able to send their kids to school and feed their kids is an achievement in itself, which I feel very proud of.
That's amazing. That was a really good answer. We'll just edit up the middle bits. That made me think of something else I wanted to ask you, but I'll think of it. Oh, I wanted to ask you, so you know the first 15 years you opened 50 stores and the second 50
the next
stores were in 5.
Yeah.
Say something about that. Just say we're extremely proud and then just say something about that.
Okay, so when we opened our first store, I don't think our ultimate goal or aim was to get to 100 stores. It was to, being wholesalers, it was to clear some of the stock that we couldn't sell. Once we saw how well the store did, we slowly started to roll out stores, but 3 guys that had never been in retail before, we made a few mistakes on the way. And then we got to a stage 5 years ago where we were really confident of what we were doing, and hence the next 50 stores in 5 years. And I would like to think the next 50 will be a lot less than 5 years.
Excellent, that was amazing, thank you. So what do you love about the people at JAM?
What I love about the people at JAM, as I heard Michael mention to you earlier, we spend more time at JAM than we do at home. I enjoy all the staff we have at head office. I believe that I have a good relationship with our staff. It's a lot of fun working with them. As I say, every day is different. We obviously take it very seriously. Now in October or November, I'd be in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, but we do take what we do obviously very serious. And our staff are along for the ride. I would like to think that they also enjoy coming to work, most of them.
Is there opportunity to join your operation from an induction point of view, from a resourcing point of view? Is there scope now?
Yes, there's lots of scope now. I think Taryn in the planning department is about to employ 2 people. The 2 girls that assist me in buying were both store managers, one in Breer Road, one in Springfield Road. The planning department is probably the one department in the business which falls under the buying market I do, that is going to continue growing as we open more stores, just so that we can keep our finger on the pulse with stock going to stores.
Excellent, thank you. I was looking for that. What do you love about what differentiates JAM from your competitors?
I think what differentiates JAM from our competitors, I've got a lot of friends who supply us and supply our competitors as well. I think Michael and I are a lot, and Taryn, now that she's on board, are a lot fussier in the kind of stock we buy. We don't just buy for price. If someone walks in here with something for R7 and we don't want to see it hanging in our store, we won't buy it, where a lot of our competitors are hell-bent on having a R15 garment in their store no matter what. We can buy ladies' tops for R100, 95 Rand, whereas they wouldn't buy it because they say it's too expensive. You can't tell these guys this. And those would be our best sellers. At the moment now, we're concentrating on a lot of European branded stock, which we're doing very well with. That would probably be one of the biggest.
Excellent. This wasn't a question that we prepped, but are you comfortable to say who are JAM's competitors?
JAM's competitors would be anyone selling clothing, retailing clothing. You can walk in. I walked past a Woolworths store yesterday, and the entire store was less 65%. They've got jackets in their stores now. When you take 65% off, which would be the same price our jackets were in winter. Jet have got similar prices to us with 6 months to pay. any retailer selling clothing is our position.
Brilliant, because that's kind of what Dave said off camera to me, and I was looking to get that on camera. And then one other thing we haven't actually asked the other guys, but I'm thinking of it now, is what would you motivate to a landlord why JM should be in a centre?
Okay, so you should ask the other two guys that.
Okay, then
Yeah.
that's fine. I can go back and ask
Yeah.
them. They're better to answer.
Yes, they
Okay, that's
deal
fine.
more on the
Okay, I'm going to
on the
ask
property
them.
side of the business. I get more involved in.
We'll do
couple
it
other
while
things.
they're eating lunch, and I'll just ask them
Yeah.
over and say that. Okay, fantastic. Sorry to throw that in there.
No, it's
So
good.
what makes JM unique?
What makes JM unique? I would think the way we buy our stock as opposed to our competitors, as I mentioned earlier, we try and be right up to trend and fashionable as well as really good prices, and not just all about price. We try and find those deals that you would normally find in Oxford Street in London, sitting in Armstrong at the Crescent for 120 Rand, and I know when customers find those hidden gems, it's a difference between us and the other stores that don't stock it.
It's amazing. So where does JM purchase stock from?
We buy, okay, Michael answers, I think his answer was fine, eh? I meant to cross this one out.
Okay. All right.
No, his answer was great, I heard it.
Okay, cool. How does JM give back to the community?
Okay, Michael didn't do very well on this one. How does JM give back to the community? So we obviously have a lot of charities who we continually sponsor. A lot of the stock that we send to stores, or not a lot of stock that goes to stores is unsellable in the end, whether it loses buttons or it's torn or we find a hole in it when it's too late. That stock comes back to our warehouse. We distribute that stock on a monthly basis to all the charities in and around Durban and in and around our stores in South Africa.
It's amazing. Okay, so what is your job involved?
What is my job involved? So just as with Michael, the number one part of my job would be the buying, and the buy is very big and obviously important. If what we buy doesn't sell, then the rest of the stuff it is meaningless. I'm involved quite a lot with marketing, the logistics, getting the stock to stores, the distribution centre, making sure that the stock is ticketed and gets to stores timelessly. Very closely work with planning and operations. Bit of jack of all trades, eh? Bit of everything.
Okay, so here's the fun one. What's JM's overall management style?
JM's overall management style, I would think the three of us are very different. We're obviously very firm, but at the same time very fair. I'd like to think that our door is always open, and it is always open. And if the staff want anything from us, they feel free to come and talk to us. But they know that there's a line that they can't cross as well, and there's work to be done. So I think you'll see with